You're listening to Soundside. I'm Libby Denkman. It's the final Thursday of February, and March is getting going this weekend at Soundside. We've got some team birthdays to celebrate. Women's hockey is back at Climate Pledge Arena, and it's the final days of Black History Month. Let's get out and do some stuff. Here to be your guide for the weekend's happenings is Soundside producer Jason Megatron Burrows.
Thank you, Libby, and welcome to the Weekend Warmup. We're going to dive right in with a listener submission this week. We actually received quite a few emails from listeners, so a huge thanks to Chris Carter from Bandit Theater for starting us off strong. Friday night at the Fremont Abbey in, Fremont, you should go check out Mad Science, a night of improv and laughter. The Bandit Improv Comedy Theater is teaming up with a group of actual scientists to teach us awesome stuff in the best way possible, by making us laugh. Mad Science starts at 7 p.m. and is followed by First Date, an improv and real-life dating show also hosted by the Bandit Theater crew. It's all going down at the Fremont Abbey on Friday night. And if you can't make it this week, there is a new version with different scientists next Friday, March 6th. All right, speaking of Friday, let's turn our attention to the gold medal-winning hockey players in our city, Hillary Knight, Hannah Bilka, Kayla Barnes, and Alex Carpenter, all members of the Seattle Torrent who are hosting their Olympic homecoming game against the Toronto Scepters Friday night at Climate Pledge Arena. All right, as I am recording this, there are fewer than 50 tickets left, and I am pretty sure that we are going to sell that out. It is going to be a fantastic game. Everyone I know is on a women's hockey high, and I personally cannot wait to be in that crowd cheering on the home team. Doors open at 5:30. Puck drop is at 7. Oh, and the Kraken play Vancouver on Saturday. Now, a handful of multi-day events kick off on Friday as well, so let's jump into those. The Sea Slug Animation Festival begins on Friday. It's a celebration of offbeat cartoons and glorious weirdness running through Sunday at SIFF Cinema Uptown. These are animators from across the globe, but there is a special focus on the Pacific Northwest. You can catch single screenings that feature multiple shorts in one go, or you can grab an entire weekend pass. Sea Slug runs Friday through Sunday in Lower Queen Anne. Next, out on the peninsula, the Poulsbo Blues and Jazz Festival kicks off on Friday. 23 different artists and groups are performing at the 6 different venues, which means you will have to choose which performance you want to go see, unless, of course, you are Multiple Man from the X-Men. Yes, I am. The Poulsbo Blues and Jazz Festival runs from 5 p.m. until 9-ish on Friday, then from 2 p.m. until nearly midnight on Saturday. And our final begins on Friday and runs for multiple days event brings us down to Tacoma for their annual Beer Week. That's right, a full week of beer-themed adventures and Tacoma-based brews. There is a food drive, a polar bear crawl, axe throwing, and that's all just this weekend. There are even more events throughout the week at a variety of different venues. And according to the website, there are over 80 different companies, breweries, venues, and other groups participating. The pre-funk/official launch party is Friday at 5 p.m. at the Odd Otter in Tacoma. Saturday, another event sent in by listeners out at the Woodland Park Zoo. Hi friends, thanks for listening. The Woodland Park Zoo Rose Garden is open every day free of charge from 7:30 until sunset. But on Saturday from noon until 3, you can go take part in the pruning demonstration. You can learn all about how to take care of rose bushes, and afterwards, you can enjoy the 2.5-acre garden. But don't prune there. The best part? It's free. They also have a sensory garden that features a ton of elements for folks to touch and to hear, etc. My description will not do it justice, so go check it out for yourself. On Sunday here in the U District, the wildly popular food podcast Doughboys is taking over the Neptune Theater. This review-style show has rolled out appraisals of Dough Zone and Ezel's in their previous Seattle visits, so I'm excited to see what they choose to evaluate this weekend. Doors are at 6 and the show starts at 7 here at the Neptune in the U District. And finally, our last listener-provided event, thanks to Dorothy for sending this one in. The 4th annual Black Makers and Creatives Art Exhibit is gracing the Hyatt Regency Lake Washington out in Renton. In honor of Black History Month, the event will celebrate Seattle's vibrant Black community with art, music, dance, a fashion show, and more. This year's event is I Choose You, a love letter to Black love, music, and lyricism. There will also be Black-owned food and beverage vendors, including Soul Fusion Food, Sansino's Catering, and the Woodinville-based On Blended Knee Winery. Even better, all proceeds will be donated to Family First Community Center, an organization dedicated to serving the community through a range of services, including mathletics classes for children, senior storytelling sessions, and more. The exhibit opens at 1 p.m. on Sunday, and you can stay as long as you like out at the Hyatt Regency Lake Washington in Renton. And that is it. As usual, we will have links to all of these events at KUOW.org/Soundside, and you can find even more events by checking out KUOW's podcast, Meet Me Here. If you would like to suggest an event for future installments of the Weekend Warmup, shoot us an email, arts@KUOW.org. Thank you for listening to Soundside. I am Jason Megatron Burrows, and that's what you could be doing this weekend.
Thanks, Jason. And this is Libby. I just wanted to add something that's on a heavier note for the weekend, but I think it's a worthy option. The Islamic Republic government in Iran last month conducted one of the bloodiest crackdowns on political protests in the modern history of the world. And it's hard to get accurate estimates for this because the government also shut down the internet and imprisoned tens of thousands of people. Various human rights groups have said that the death toll in Iran may be 12,000, it may be 20,000 or more. Last week, President Trump put the number of people killed by their own government at 32,000. The Seattle Isfahan Sister City Advocacy Group and local Iranian American families and their allies are holding a vigil and an art exhibition to memorialize the victims of this massacre. And it's coming up this weekend. It's on Sunday, starts at 4 o'clock, 4 to 8 p.m. at Seattle City Hall. I'm going to attend. And if you also want to support the local Iranian diaspora community, it's open to the public. Again, that's 4 to 8 p.m. this Sunday at Seattle City Hall for a vigil for the victims of the massacre of political protesters in Iran. Thanks for listening to Soundside. Don't forget you can listen live on KUOW 94.9 Seattle at noon and 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, or anytime right here online at KUOW.org, or of course on your favorite podcast app.